Let me tell you something most men never realize. A single hug can do what 100 clever lines never could. I've seen women walk away from boyfriends, cheat on lovers, and spiral into obsession, not because a man kissed them, but because of how he held them. Just one slow pull, one precise placement of his hand, and she couldn't stop thinking about him. Most men hug like friends, flat, nervous, forgettable, and wonder why she doesn't crave them. But a rare kind of man moves differently. He doesn't rush. He doesn't plead. He draws her in like he already knows she belongs there. He leaves an imprint on her body and a question in her mind. I've watched it happen. I've seen the way her breath slows, how her eyes change when she feels that calm strength. Because a hug can be casual, or it can be the spark that sets her world on fire. 13 hidden secrets, decide which one it becomes. Trick number 1, the slow draw in. The first secret is simple, but almost every man gets it wrong. It's the slow draw in. And the truth is, women can sense it immediately. There's a sharp difference between the man who jerks her in like he's afraid she'll slip away, and the man who pulls her in slowly, with steady calm, like he already knows she'll come closer. When you rush, it feels desperate. It feels like need. But when you move slow, her body relaxes without asking permission. That patience doesn't just seem confident. It feels powerful, like gravity pulling her into your frame. Here's the psychology. Women are extremely sensitive to pacing. Fast movements signal fear, nervousness, and insecurity. Slow movements signal certainty, control, and grounded masculine presence. When you don't rush to close the space, you communicate that you own it. You're not asking for permission. You're guiding her into your world. I've seen the difference firsthand. One man yanked her into him so fast her shoulders locked up. Her body went stiff. Another said nothing, barely moved, and simply placed his hand gently on her arm, letting her come to him. Her breath slowed, her chest rested against him, and her body gave the answer her words never could: yes. Here's your rule. Never yank, never lunge. Guide. Place your hand gently. Use calm, steady pressure. Let her lean into you. Move slower than you think you should. Breathe slower than you normally do. Because when you slow the moment down, she'll replay it faster in her mind later. And once she's close, where your hand moves next decides everything. Trick number 2, the lower back claim. The second secret is about placement, not pressure. It's the lower back claim, and there's a reason it hits deeper than any other touch. When a man rests his hand on a woman's lower back during a hug, something shifts. It doesn't feel casual. It doesn't feel friendly. It feels protective, grounding, quietly possessive, like he's saying, "You're safe with me, and you're mine." That single touch flips a hidden switch. The psychology is primal. The lower back is vulnerable. It's unguarded, exposed, close to her hips. When your hand settles there with calm control, it speaks to ancient wiring. It signals strength. It signals leadership. It tells her, you're not afraid to guide, protect, and hold her like a man should. Most men avoid that area and stay high on the shoulders. That feels platonic, forgettable. But the man who claims the lower back instantly sets himself apart. I've seen it. One man hugged a woman with both arms high around her shoulders. It looked safe, but it felt sexless, like a brother. Another let his hand slide down with quiet certainty. Her knees softened, her breath caught. She thought about it for hours afterward. It wasn't overtly sexual, but it was charged, and that charge made her crave more. Here's your rule. Guide her lower back, not too low, not groping, but firm and calm. That placement tells her she's with a man, not a boy. And once she feels that strength, she won't forget it. But understand, this hand placement is only the start. What you do with the timing of the hug can make her obsess even more. Trick number 3, release delay. The third secret isn't about how you start the hug, it's about how you end it. Most men destroy the moment without realizing it. They hug, pat twice, and release instantly. To her, it feels rushed, it feels cold, it feels like he couldn't wait to get away. But the man who holds just a little longer, just one heartbeat past the expected release, creates a ripple in her mind and body that lingers. Here's the psychology. Women are wired to notice timing. We expect a hug to last a certain length. When you break that rhythm, her body reacts. Let go too soon, and it signals rejection. Hold slightly longer, and it signals desire. That subtle pause makes her wonder, did he want more? Was he feeling me? Why didn't he let go right away? That single question plays on repeat, and it turns an ordinary hug into an unforgettable one. I've seen it happen. One man hugged and released politely. She forgot him by dinner. Another held her just long enough that she had to decide whether to pull away, and she didn't. Her chest stayed pressed against him, her breath slowed, her mind spun. She thought about it in the car. She thought about it lying awake at night. That pause echoed like a scene stuck on loop. Here's your rule. Don't grip, don't cling, don't smother. Hold a fraction longer than normal, then let go calmly. That brief delay will feel like unspoken desire. She'll be the one replaying it, trying to figure out why it felt so different. And once you master timing, the next move becomes even more dangerous. Trick number 4, neck-to-cheek brush. It's the neck-to-cheek brush. Every woman knows this moment, even if she won't admit it. A hug feels normal until your cheek grazes hers or your breath drifts across the side of her neck. That tiny, almost accidental touch bypasses logic completely. Her body reacts before her mind has time to fight it. A sudden shiver, goosebumps, heat curling low in her stomach. And here's the truth, she'll replay that moment again and again, even when she tries not to. There's a reason it works. The neck is one of the most sensitive places on her body. It's intimate, unguarded, laced with nerves tied to desire. Most men avoid it, afraid they'll cross a line. But the man who lets his face hover close, not in a needy way, but with calm certainty, creates tension thick enough to stay for days. That tension pulls her mind into fantasy. It makes her wonder what would have happened if you hadn't pulled away. And imagination will always be stronger than reality. I've seen the difference. One man hugged her cheek to cheek, nothing more, and she walked away burning. Her hand kept drifting to the place his breath had been. Another kept his face stiff and distant. She forgot him instantly. That's the contrast. Here's your rule. Don't force it. Let closeness happen as you draw her in. Breathe steady. Let your skin brush hers for only a moment, then pull back like nothing happened. That fleeting touch will haunt her. She'll crave it again because you gave her just enough to let her imagination finish the rest. Trick number 5, silent hug energy. The fifth secret has nothing to do with touch and everything to do with presence. It's silent hug energy. Most men ruin the moment by talking. They hug and instantly say something, "You smell good," "I missed you," or worse, a nervous joke. The second words enter, the tension dies. It becomes friendly, predictable, safe. But the man who stays silent, who holds her without saying a word, shifts the entire atmosphere, because silence forces her mind to fill in the blanks, and imagination is always stronger than explanation. Here's the psychology. Women are addicted to meaning. They analyze tone, timing, body language, every detail. When you stay quiet, you starve her of clues, and that uncertainty turns into obsession. I've seen it happen. I've been there. The hugs where men talk too much, they collapsed under their own noise. But the hug where he said nothing, where he just breathed slow and steady, my mind spun. Questions flooded in. Is he thinking about me? Is he turned on? Does he want to kiss me? Why isn't he saying anything? That loop didn't stop after the hug. It followed all day. One man in particular stood out. He hugged in silence. No words, no sigh, just calm energy. And when he finally let go, I felt robbed. I wanted to pull him back just to decode what that silence meant. It was maddening, and it made me crave him. Here's your rule. Don't break the silence. Don't explain yourself. Hug her. Hold still. Breathe slow. Let the moment breathe. When you stop talking, she'll start imagining, and that's what will hook her. And the next one is something most men never think to do. Trick number 6, the shoulder slide. Most men hug like statues, their arms stiff, their hands frozen in place. Safe, polite, forgettable. But when a man moves with purpose, even in the smallest way, it changes everything. One of the most powerful touches is this. As you release her, let your hand glide slowly across the top of her back or over her shoulder blade. Just a light, deliberate slide. That small motion feels intentional. It feels like you meant it, and it sends a ripple of sensation through her body that she won't be able to shake. Here's the psychology. Women crave contrast. Stillness creates safety. Movement creates tension. When your hand moves, it doesn't feel accidental. It feels like you wanted her to notice. That single shift transforms a hug from polite into charged. And because it's subtle, her mind replays it over and over. Did he mean that? Was that just a hug or something more? I've seen it. One man hugged her goodbye, then let his hand slide gently across her shoulder. Nothing obvious, nothing sexual, but her breath caught. Hours later, she was still thinking about it. It haunted her not because of what it was, but because of what it suggested. Another man hugged her the same day. Arms stiff, no movement. She forgot him instantly. Here's your rule. Don't stay rigid. Let your hand move slowly and deliberately as you break the hug. A smooth glide across her shoulder or back tells her body the hug isn't over, even when it island. That lingering touch will echo in her mind long after you've walked away. Trick number 7, contrast of firm and gentle. Every woman craves it, though she'll never say it out loud. She wants to feel your strength, but also your tenderness. Most men fail here. They choose one extreme and destroy the tension. Too soft and it feels weak, like you're unsure of yourself. Too firm and it feels aggressive, like you're trying to prove something. But the man who blends both creates the kind of hug that melts her completely. Here's the psychology. Feminine energy thrives when it feels both safe and desired. A strong arm wrapped around her back makes her feel anchored, protected, contained. But a softer hand, maybe resting on her shoulder or gliding slowly across her upper back, adds intimacy, care, and warmth. That mix whispers, I can hold you and I won't hurt you. And that duality is addictive. I've seen the difference. One man hugged her like air, all softness, barely touching, and she felt nothing. Another crushed her in his arms, so hard she could barely breathe. Safe maybe, but not sexy. But the one who held her firmly with one strong arm, while letting the other move gently against her back, her whole body softened. her chest pressed against him without her realizing. She didn't want it to end. Here's your rule. Blend your energies. Hold her steady with one arm, strong and sure, while letting the other hand move with subtle softness. That contrast creates tension her body can't resolve. And tension is what keeps her craving more. Trick number 8, the teasing squeeze. A normal hug is flat, predictable, polite. It ends clean and leaves nothing behind. But when you add one subtle move, a brief, deliberate squeeze just before you let go, everything changes. Firm enough to be felt, soft enough not to restrain. That single squeeze sends a current through her body she can't ignore. Here's the psychology. Women are drawn to contrast. Comfort calms them, tension excites them. A steady hug feels safe. But the teasing squeeze adds unpredictability. It's a spark, a flash that says, this isn't just friendly, this means something. That tiny disruption forces her mind to analyze it. Why did he do that? Was it playful? Was it desire? Did he mean it? Those questions loop in her head, and the more she replays them, the deeper they sink. I've seen the difference. One man hugged her politely and let go. She forgot it instantly. Another gave that faint squeeze right before release. It haunted her. Her body replayed the pressure. Her mind replayed the intent. It felt like a secret, like he told her something without saying a word. And the more subtle it was, the louder it echoed in her memory. Here's your rule, don't overdo it. This isn't about holding her hostage. It's just a light squeeze, enough to let her know you felt her and wanted her to feel it too. Done right, it leaves her body buzzing as you walk away. And that's why the next secret is the one we can't resist. Trick number 9, the break first restraint, the craving trigger. And it's the one she won't be able to resist. This is the hug that makes her crave you, even when you're nowhere near. It's not about holding longer, it's about ending first. Pulling away while her body still wants more. That moment creates an ache she can't escape. Your restraint won't push her away, it will pull her in. Because now she's the one chasing what she felt was denied. Here's the psychology. Women are wired to desire what's withheld. Give her everything at once, she enjoys it, but she doesn't obsess over it. Stop before she's ready, and you plant a hook. That unfinished moment fuels imagination. Her mind replays it, again and again. Why did you pull away? Did you feel it too? Were you holding back or controlling yourself? That questioning is where obsession begins. I've seen it. One man hugged her and released first. She wanted more. Her body leaned in, but he was already gone. She laughed it off, but her mind spun for hours. She replayed it, over and over. Not to give another hug, but to finish the one he never let her complete. That flipped the script. She wasn't in control anymore. She was craving him. Here's your rule. Always be the one to end the hug first. Not abruptly, not coldly, but with calm certainty. Step back like a man who decides the pace. That single act of control tells her body the hug isn't hers to command, it's yours. And once she feels that, she won't stop thinking about you. And that's where the next move locks her into replaying you in her head. Trick number 10, the eye lock after release. Most men destroy the afterglow the instant the hug ends. They pull away, look down, check their phone, or mutter something nervous, and the tension vanishes. But the man who lets go and holds her gaze for one beat longer than feels safe, he leaves a mark that burns. That single look makes her feel like the hug never ended, like you're still holding her even without your arms. The psychology is primal. Eye contact is intimacy, it's vulnerability, and when paired with touch, it becomes electric. A hug without eye contact feels like formality. But a hug followed by a calm, lingering stare feels like desire. It forces her to imagine everything you didn't say. Her mind races to fill the silence. What is he thinking? Did he feel that too? Why is he looking at me like that? Those questions echo for days. I've seen it. One man hugged her, released her, then locked eyes. Calm, steady. Her breath caught. Her chest tightened. She couldn't look away until she did. And when she broke first, the moment seared into her memory. The hug was nice, but the look that haunted her for weeks. Here's your rule. Don't rush to kill the tension. After you release her, hold her gaze just one heartbeat longer than normal. Not a glare, not a stare down, just calm, steady presence. Then let her be the one to break it. That single second will burn deeper than anything you could say, and that's what the next secret is all about. Trick number 11, the lingering touch exit. Most men end a hug like cutting a rope. Arms drop, contact vanishes, moment gone. Clean, sharp, forgettable. But the man who lets his hand linger for just a second as he pulls away leaves a spark behind. That faint, trailing touch across her arm, shoulder, or back feels intentional, and it doesn't disappear when the hug ends. It echoes like a ghost touch. Here's the psychology. The body remembers sensation long after it fades. When your hand doesn't fall away fast but drifts slowly, you leave an imprint. An unfinished line her nervous system keeps replaying. It's the same reason a whisper lingers while a shout is forgotten. Softness burns deeper, slowness stays longer. I've seen it happen. One man hugged her and let go clean, gone from her mind instantly. Another released her but let his hand trail down her arm until it slipped off her wrist. She froze, her skin tingled like he was still touching her. Hours later, she rubbed the same spot, remembering him. That's the difference. Here's your rule. Don't break clean. Don't snap away. As you release her, let your hand glide with quiet intent. Not grabbing, not groping. Just slow, like you're reluctant to let her go. That lingering touch becomes a ghost of you she'll still feel long after you've walked away. But the real measure of a man's frame is revealed when the world is watching, because the way you hold her in public tells her and every woman who sees it exactly who you are. Trick number 12. Public hug frame control. A private hug can spark emotion, but a public hug can define your entire image in her mind. Most men shrink when others are watching. They give quick, shallow hugs, like they fear being judged for showing too much. That doesn't feel protective. It doesn't feel masculine. It feels timid. But the man who holds her calmly in public makes her feel chosen, safe, and proud to be with him. Here's the psychology. Public settings magnify status. Women constantly observe how a man carries himself socially. A public hug isn't just touch, it's a declaration. When you hold her with steady, unapologetic confidence while others look on, you send a powerful signal. You're not ashamed of her, and more importantly, you're not ashamed of yourself. Other women notice this too. They read your presence. And here's the paradox. When they notice you, her desire grows. It's the scarcity effect. If you appear valuable to others, you become more valuable to her. I've seen both sides. One man pulled her into a slow, grounded hug at a crowded party. No nerves, no hesitation. His arm steady on her back, his energy unshaken. She lit up. She stood taller. She wanted people to see. Another man hugged her lightly, quick and stiff, like he hoped no one would notice. Her attraction to him faded instantly. Here's your rule. Never shrink your frame in public. Hug her with the same calm strength you would in private. Own the space. Own her presence. When others see it and she feels it, your value surges in her mind. And what comes next is even more powerful. Trick number 13, the whisper without words. Most men ruin a hug with words. They speak too soon, cracking the tension open. Others say nothing but offer no presence behind it. Both mistakes kill the moment. But the man who leans close as if to whisper something intimate and then says nothing creates a storm inside her. That pause is louder than speech. It pulls her mind apart. The psychology is simple. Women are wired to seek meaning in everything. They chase unfinished threads. When you lean in like you're about to reveal a secret, then hold it back, you hand her a mystery. Her mind spins. What was he going to say? Did he stop himself because it was too bold? Did he feel what I felt? That guessing game outlives the hug itself. It trails her home. It echoes in her bed, in quiet moments when she least expects it. I've seen its effect. One man held her with calm strength, leaned in slow, his breath warm against her ear, then pulled back without a word. Her eyes widened, her lips parted. She froze not from fear, but from wanting more. Days later, she still replayed it, imagining dozens of things he might have said. That silence became obsession. Here's your rule. Create space for her imagination to breathe. Lean close as if to whisper. Let your breath linger and say nothing. Then pull back with calm certainty like a man who never needed words to leave a mark. Now that you've walked through all 13 secrets, here's the truth no one ever told you. It was never just about the hug. It was never about tricks, lines, or clever moves. It was always about energy, about frame, about presence, about the quiet restraint that makes even the smallest touch unforgettable. You see it now. Every one of those 13 moves was never about the surface. The slow draw-in wasn't about moving slow. It was about showing you don't rush, you don't chase, you don't fear the space between you and her. The hand on the lower back wasn't about where you touched her. It was about claiming ground with calm certainty, showing you belong there without needing her permission. The release delay, the cheek brush, the silence, none of them worked because of contact. They worked because they whispered control, because they told her you are not desperate, you are not clinging, you are directing the moment. And that is what women crave. Not another man who hugs like a friend, flat, safe, and forgettable. Not another man who clings too long, begging with his body for her to feel something. But a man who hugs like he leads, who knows when to hold, when to release, and when to let silence speak louder than words. A man who leaves her body wanting more, not because he gave everything away, but because he held something back. Here's what most men never understand. Obsession doesn't come from giving a woman everything. It comes from leaving her with something unfinished, an unanswered question, a tension she must resolve alone. That is why the lingering touch, the eye lock, the whisper without words are so powerful. They force her mind to fill in the blanks. They make her imagination do the work. And imagination is what makes her crave you when you're not even there. Masculine energy does not chase, it does not cling, it does not over-explain. Masculine energy attracts by creating gravity, by standing still while she spins, by staying calm while she guesses, by making her feel safe while still making her body burn. That paradox is what marks you as rare, as unforgettable. Understand this: if she ever walks away, she may forget the men who hugged too quickly. She may forget the ones who held on too long. But she will not forget the man who hugged her like this, the man who made her feel claimed, protected, and haunted all at once. She will replay it, she will miss it, and she will regret losing it, because no other man will touch her that way. not with his arms, but with his frame. So remember this: the next time you hug her, it's not just a hug, it's a psychological imprint. It's a test of presence. It's the moment you stop being just another man in her life and start being the man she can't stop craving. You've seen the map. You've heard the truths most women will never say aloud. Now you know why some hugs are forgotten in seconds while others echo in her mind for weeks. Use this. Embody it. And if this opened your eyes, like the video, comment your favorite secret, and subscribe, because if you don't, another man will. And the woman you want will end up craving him instead of you.